Okay, I was just going to quickly show the difference between a basic running stitch and a quilting stitch. A quilting stitch is basically a running stitch, just done a little bit differently. So on this, I've done a running stitch around this. It's a canvas, so I'm using a chenille needle with a little bit of a sharp point and a pearl cotton number 8. And basically the running stitch is you go in and fetch the thread up. So you go in like your needle is laying flat almost, because you just go in just inside there and coming back up. You can sometimes, once you get into it, put a few stitches on the needle, you know, at the same time. So that's your basic running stitch. Works out like that. Right, I quite like to do what I call a faux quilting stitch. It's not quite a full quilting stitch, so it's more or less the running stitch, and I do it through the top and the wadding. And I've marked this quilt up with some hearts. So I'm just going to put the needle in, and I've got a sharps needle. I can't use the tiny ones, the quilting ones anymore, so I tend to use sharps. Just a little bit bigger. There you go. Right, so instead of, you can still go in like that and back up. I got my hand, one hand on the back of the work, this hand, and then you go in just in slightly and back up, and you're just catching the wadding. It's not a full quilting stitch, but it's easier to do than the full quilting stitch for me, because my hands get tired very quickly. I'll just show you the full quilting one now. Got another needle thread, another sharp needle thread. There we go. I'm going to put a piece of fabric on the back, so you've now got fabric, wadding and a front. Okay. Right, I'm going to bring the needle up to the front of the work. Okay. And then instead of going down like that, because you wouldn't catch the back, you need to go straight down and in. So you're going right through the 3 layers, then you pull your needle back and flatten it, pull it back a bit and fetch it back up. So there's a little bit more to this. So the needle goes straight down, fetch it back a bit and come back up. I have got a video that shows you this in more detail. So there's a little bit more to this stitch, and it's harder on your hands. So I tend to just nowadays do this, what I call a faux one, because you can just, it's quicker. You can just go in and back. You're not trying to get through 3 layers at the same time. Now you're not going to get quite the same effect as you would a full quilting stitch, but I'm happy enough with it. There you go. I don't know if you can see these. It's there. And it's there. And if I'm doing this on a quilt, it's not going to go through to the back, so I do put some machine stitching in so that I have quilted through the 3 layers with machine stitching, and then I add little pieces. I don't know if you see that machine stitching there and round the windows and things. So that's a running stitch stroke quilting stitch.